now. Okay, please keep your microphones muted. Keep it muted. It's online etiquette. You're not saying anything to us as a collective. You should be silent. Keep all your videos off. In fact, I've deactivated that, but learn that. Virtual has come to stay. So have that posturing when you're online. Keep your thing muted until you are on the floor to speak. Permitted to. Then we can have a decorous time together. I enjoyed the group 10 yesterday. It was very, very comported. 1 or 2 hiccups here and there, but the class went very well. I suspect that we'll have same here. So I was saying that if you go to your group 11 site, which is the highlighted one, those who don't know how to navigate Sakai still, you have to learn that. When you are here, the highlighted portion course site up here is the active site you are looking at. So you shouldn't go to UGRC 15011 and be sending a message to academic writing instructor. The message you send to the instructor, they will come to me, not to that instructor. So you have to understand the highlighted part here. When you have course sites as shortcuts up here, the one that is highlighted is the course sites that you are dealing with. So we are currently at UG. Look at it all. Those who are able to see, please. Okay, we are on UGRC 15011. This is a group site. Group 11. The group sites are from group 10 all the way to group 22 for this semester of this is the second semester of 2021. Am I right? Yes, 2021, 2022. Okay. Because the recordings will be uploaded on YouTube, my channel there. I like to issue disclaimers all the time. Don't apply the administrative content, administrative information I'm giving here to other years. I'm speaking to a specific group. The direct content, though, you can study it regardless of the year. But the information I'm giving you regarding when we'll do what and who you are meeting and the group name and all that are not necessarily applicable to other years. They might change. Okay, so bear that in mind. I'm just saying that. So you go here, UGRC 15011. 11 is your group site. The main course site is UGRC 151. 1 just represents main campus. You will see that I have this one. Those who are looking, I have UGRC 154. 4 is for city campus. If you see 3, I think I have not given a shortcut of my 3, but look here. This one is UGRC 15030. This is distance education. Okay, so the university codes have meaning. You don't know that. So some of the queries I received were just a matter of ignorance. I could have ignored it, but we can help each other slowly. Okay, don't bring your troubles on me if you don't know your way around. Okay, learn it. This is where you find. Look at this 9 dotted ellipses or something up here. I don't know if these are ellipses. Represent the course site where you find. Because someone keeps unmuting, and before long, I'll fish the person out, and he or she will be in trouble. The background is very noisy. If you don't know your way around, please don't touch your screen because you keep unmuting, and the noise is not good. We are recording for your own benefit. Right, thank you. So I said that this is the group site 11. How do you know that? It is the 11 here. This is UGRC 150 group 11 of second semester 2021, 2022. Okay, that means this one that I'm pointing to is group 10. So the person who is in group 22 will be, you'll see 22 here. All right, so that clarity, I think, is in that. Now I ask you to go to your overview and you will see the course outline. Those are my details there. I've given you my office hours. You cannot call me and say, I went to the office, you were not there. Hey, auntie, right now I'm teaching. How will I be in the office too? Sometimes the teaching is in person. I don't teach only this. My colleagues don't teach only the courses you are seeing. So you just don't go to any lecturer's office and say, when I came, you were not there. Why? How can the person be at the main lecture and in the office at the same time or at another? You know, I just want you to understand. That's why office hours are given. So if you want to meet people in person, then you should go there at the time that they will be there. They have told you they will be there. and hope that they'll be there. You see that? Alternatively, those that can be cleared off via email, send an email. This is university. So everything you have to see senior house mistress or a science teacher. You see that culture must cease. People have a life. So it helps you when you work with the emails or sometimes phone contacts that are given. I had it there in the past. I've taken it off because students abuse it. 12 midnight, someone is calling you and asking whether you are fine. 12 midnight, So if not, you would have seen my phone contact today. The point then is for you to access it. So if it's just some clarity you seek, which there's no announcement on, look at my language, then you would access the contact numbers given to you. But sometimes what you are coming to ask has already been communicated. You are not reading. And I want to tell the class again on record that it will not help you in the university. We don't want to train people who sign documents without reading them for the nation, for example. You sell us out, or they read it in a scanty way, if there is any expression like that. They don't read the details, then they append their signature. Before long, we have all been sold out. We don't want that. We don't want a lawyer that is managing someone's case and doesn't look at where the comments were put, where the signatures were placed. You will not be a good lawyer, even though you know how to deliver. Your lack of what details can affect you. So learn to read. See, when you go to the announcement tool, I'll come back to the course outline in a moment. Okay, you go to the announcement tool, there is a notice there. Apart from what is at resource tool, I extracted the link for group 11, put a notice to it, and sent it. Look at when I sent it, 3rd July, Saturday, I think, so that students won't stress themselves at all. Okay, but people have never seen this announcement. They don't even know that there's a textbook for the course. They don't know that the course is mounted. Some people are going to the centers that Saturday. We went for the physical lecture. They are still going there. They are looking for critical thinking lecture. See that is problematic. So I'm taking some few minutes of our time together to touch on that, to help you. Okay, so back to our overview where the course outline is, and then we can run through quickly. This is the lecture of the courses, one of the lectures, sorry, and then the coordinator. Then when you come down here, there are 2 fine TAs among the 7 we have who are helping us this semester manage our online learning. So if you have an online related issue and you contact these emails, they will promptly assist you. Those are our course instructors, the lecturers helping to teach the course this semester, 7 of them. To the left, see your screen with their emails there. And then to the right, you see the TAs officially assigned to the course, not people who have captured, are carrying themselves as TAs, but people that are officially assigned. We want you to be minded so that you don't get wrong information, okay? The course description, you did it during your in-person session. Then these are details on how the course will be delivered. They are all there. Take all assessments before the due date. We'll give you that information as well. Okay. Assessment grading, 2% offsite, 2 off-site assessment, each of them counting for 10%. They will be essays on unit 1, 2, 3, and 5. Units 1, 2, 3, and 5. You will have essays on them, which are supposed to be returned a week after they are opened. So 3rd week, you have one. 4th week, you will have another due the 5th week. Okay, so the 3rd week's one will be due 4th week. The 4th week's one will be due 5th week. They will be on the topics assigned for that unit. Mary, I'll take your question in a moment. Let me wrap up what I'm doing now. So those will be there. Then you will have your mid-sem test in the 7th week. Okay, it can't be the 8th week. It will be in the 7th week. What is here has to be edited. The university gave us a week earlier, and it will constitute 30% of your final mark in the course. All right, we have seen all this. To cover units 1, 2, 3, 5, what's the other one? 7. Excuse me, 1, 2, 3. No unit 4 because it's not examinable. So units 1, 2, 3, unit 5, 6, and 7. Yeah. They will be the units to look out for your mid-sem. There will be short answer questions and multiple choice, 20 multiple choice questions, 5 short answer questions, totaling 30 marks. You know, your exam will also be short answer and multiple choice like that. I said all that, but since there may be some who couldn't make it on Saturday for the in-person, it helps to brush up. So this is your assessment detail. All these are there for you. No plagiarism, then the required text that you must have. And then the content proper delivered per week. That is it. Introduction to critical thinking. This is what? Week 1. Unit 1 and some aspects of Unit 5.2. See, it's a blend of the two. If you did it well, you cover all of Unit 1 and then some aspect of Unit 5 and 2. That is how we grouped it for you. Okay. Your first session, therefore, discussed, gave you an introduction of what? Critical thinking. A review, the course outline. If you were not there, I've done a brief review for you so you can catch up quickly. Then it helped you to see how to distinguish the types of sentence shape thought. Let me ask the class to be sure if people remember. What are the types of sentence shape thoughts that you discussed last Saturday? Put up your hand if you know. Yes, Ashley, Amma, go ahead.
Madam, please, factual, definition, and then value.
Well done. But those are 3 types of declaratives. Okay, so it's a good attempt, but it has gone further to even give us the types of declaratives. But I was asking about the sentence shape thought. Okay, so thank you, Ashley. Let's take Dorcas. Dorcas, go ahead.
Madam, interrogative, declarative, imperative, sentence fragment, and emotive expression.
Well done, well done. So Dorcas has given us those ones. Oh, what apart from what Dorcas has given us, the build-up, we just pick one type of the sentence shape thought or speech act or thought as object of scrutiny. We take one linguistic expression, the one that is of importance to the critical thinker is what? The one that we label declarative, which is also called statement, which is also called assertion, which is also called a proposition. Take note of that. We take that particular one because it has a distinction, it's distinct from the others. What is that distinction? It has a truth value. It can be either true or false. Okay. So apart from declaratives, all the others do not have a truth value. They don't bear truth. They can't be either true or false. You can't respond true or false to them. If I say, where is your mother? Like I said during our sessions, you will say true. Okay. Ajay, you don't say false to that. Okay. So those are not statements, and therefore they do not have a truth value, or they are not truth bearers. Okay. Now, but the other ones, the one that has a truth value or bears truth, I'm trying to incorporate something on the screen for you. Okay, the one that bears truth comes in 3 different ways. There are 3 types of such declaratives, and that's what Ashley gave us. Factual statements, valid arguments, and definitions. It is important. Mary, you have a question. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think I should take your question now before I elaborate. Go ahead, Mary.
See your screen.
What did you say?
Please, I can't see your screen.
Please, who else cannot see the screen? Can anyone see the screen? Maybe that's a better question.
Yes. Yes, madam.
Yes, you can see the screen.
Exactly. So, my dear sister, so you would want to check what the issue could be, okay, with you. It could be a network issue. It could be the normal, hiccups things. But my screen is visible. There are 341 of you. You see that? So let's see. Give it a little time. Sometimes when I change the screen and I project something else, you may be able to see that, okay? It could even be a browser issue. So don't worry your head, Matt. I'm still on the course outline. I haven't moved off yet. And it is still what was done Saturday. I just want to make sure we are building on a strong foundation. So we are brushing through a little like I did with the first group also. Okay, so bear with us. Now, I was just trying to explain to you that there are 3 types of declaratives. and it is important that you see the distinction, because we will build on it to do open textured versus verbal display, open textured terms versus well-defined terms. It will go up to what? Essentially contestable, if you like, versus what? Essentially incontestable terms. We'll go to deduction versus induction. They all take from the reasoning that distinguishes factual statements from value judgment. So if you don't get that distinction now, you may struggle with what we have ahead. Okay, that is why I'm happy about Ashley's contribution. I was saying that when I make a statement, when I say something that can be either true or false, how you determine the actual truth or falsity comes in different ways. If I said Victoria is taller than Joel, or let's use two names, Victoria is taller than her elder sister, for example. How do we establish whether that is true or false? By observation. We use our five senses. We either look, hear, touch, taste, or smell to ascertain truth. The use of the senses, okay, via observation. And whether Victoria is taller than her sister or not has nothing to do with how I feel about Victoria, whether I'm happy with her or I'm sad, or we come from the same hometown, or we serve in the same church or something. It won't affect the claim whether she is taller than her elder sister, because taller than is not about the subject speaking and my emotions and my values and my cultural background, my religious persuasion, my political affiliation. They don't come in. Taller, the term taller is an objective term. It's about the object, not the subject speaking, but the object that I'm observing. Okay, so if I look at Victoria and I look at her elder sister, and her elder sister has more height than Victoria, then I would say that Victoria is taller than her elder sister. That claim Victoria is taller than her elder sister is false. Why? Because when we measure them, the elder sister has more height than her. So we would say that, oh, that claim that Victoria is taller than her sister is a false one. However, if we check, and indeed she has more height than the elder sister, we say, oh, no. Victoria, the statement Victoria is taller than her elder sister is what? True. Therefore, the statement itself, Victoria is taller than her elder sister, is a factual one. It could be factually true or factually false. It is making a claim of truth. That's why we say it's a statement, it's a declarative, it's a proposition, yes. But how do we determine truth? Objectively, we do so objectively, devoid of any emotions that we have. It is not based on any cultural affiliation or values or whatever perspective, viewpoint. No, it is just an objective matter out there. And how do we assess it? Via observation. Okay, therefore, factual statement, if you want to simplify it, you say factual statements describe what is there objectively. Take note of the terms. I'm giving you technical terms that will be useful for your analysis. Okay, factual statement describe, it's a description, like to decode. The factual statement describe what is there via observation. And it is done what? Objectively. So you objectively describe what is there using what? Your five senses, observation. That kind of statement is the one we describe as what? A factual statement. So if I say it is raining at Nungwa right now, it's a factual matter. How do we ascertain truth or falsity? We can call someone at Nungwa to quit. The person says, oh, it doesn't rain here at all. Then it falsifies what we were saying. So then it will be, if you say, no, it hasn't rained, it becomes what? Factually false. But if you call and it says, oh, yes, indeed, it's raining here, then the statement becomes factually true. So when we say it is a statement of fact, or it's a factual statement, better still, you do not say that means it is true necessarily. No. When we say a statement is factual, we haven't said it is true. We are only saying that it has objective truth. It can be objectively verified via what? Observation. Clear? Yes. Then the second type of declarative, which we discussed, but I don't want to take anything for granted, so I'm trying to touch on it briefly, is value judgment. If I had said Victoria is more beautiful than her elder sister, then that one, we can all look and look and look and look. We may have different opinions, take note, different judgments of whether indeed Victoria is more beautiful than her elder sister. When you put them to each other and they're standing there and I'm observing, I may say, oh, that's true. You may say, oh, really? This is not true. I think the elder sister is more beautiful. We won't have an objective truth about that because beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. The term beauty is a value term. Corrupt is a value term. Impolite. Someone is calling someone impolite only because the person will not succumb to his foolishness. The lady is passing, she has serious business to do. So she's coming to the banking hall to get some cash and move out. Then you go and say, hey, this is your babs. You have babs, so got your front. And the person says, excuse me, can you direct me to the teller, please? And she walks and goes and you say, we don't board their crap. You know, this person is so impolite. Impoliteness is a subjective matter. Depends on who is speaking. Because it's not an objective truth. So I used our fine gentleman of the land, the first president. I said the current president, and then the ex-president. And I say I may be the staunchest MPP member, or I may be the staunchest NDC member. It won't come into the discussion if I had said Nana Addo is taller than JM. I refer to our current president, Nana Addo, and then John Dramani Mahama, the ex-president. You know, if I had said Nana Addo is taller than JM, I may be the staunchest MPP. You see that, or whatever you call dear to your heart, you know. But I would say, oh no, that's not true. You see, that is not true. Objectively speaking, it doesn't mean that because maybe I'm affiliated to him, or he's my grandpa, or he's my best friend, or whatever. Therefore, he has become taller than JM, for example. You see, because taller than is not a subjective. You can't have your own view of taller than. But if I had said he's more handsome than the other one, then there can be perspectives, viewpoint. So the terms I'm introducing into the discussion can make a given statement either factual or value judgment. That is why you as a critical mind would have to be alert when people are speaking. Check the baggage, check the language. Is the person expressing a fact? In other words, is the person expressing a statement of fact, something that can be factually true or factually false? Some want to say that if I say a fact, then it is necessarily true. Not necessarily. Please don't confuse that. It's a language issue. So if we say it's a factual matter, then it means we can all check via observation. We here referring to users of the language, see, can tell objectively, devoid of all our applications. Whereas if it's a value judgment, it will always be tied to a point of view. And so I told your friends yesterday and also on Saturday and previously, if you are listening to my videos on the channel there on the YouTube, you will see that I have made comments like, the guy is a good guy. This is a sister telling the friend, oh, I'm now with a good guy. Really, I mean, the guy is good. You say he's good because of how you see him. Goodness is not in that thing. It is in your prescription. There comes the technical. You are prescribing what you see. Okay. That same guy for another lady, the lady that left him before you came to pick. That lady thinks this is the worst guy. He's the worst guy I've ever met. Who is right and who is wrong? It is subjective. It is perspective driven. It's point of view inspired. So that statement is not a statement that is factual in nature. It is what? A value judgment, a judgment, even though both of them are making claims of what? Truth. So how do you summarize value judgment? Value judgment prescribe. You see, the first one described. This one prescribes what should be Not what is, but what should be. Should. It's a prescription. Value judgment prescribe what should be the case. And it does so what? Subjectively. If you compare the two, you see factual statement describe what is the case objectively. Value judgment prescribe. Pre means before. Before you scribe, you write it down. Scribe, someone who writes. Before you write it down at all, you have your conclusion. You prescribe. So if you are an Adventist, for example, my wearing an earring is wrong. Period. Before you even looked. Okay. So terms like wrong, good, bad, corrupt, I've given you quite a number of them, render a declarative what? To become a value judgment. Then the third one is what? Definitions. The third type of declarative is definition, which gives you the meaning of an unknown word. So I summarized that discussion last Saturday by giving you 3 expressions and saying that one is factual, the other is value judgment, and the third one is what? A definition. I said a bachelor is sitting under the tree. That was the first one. The second one, a bachelor is an unmarried adult male. Then the third one, a bachelor has a good conscience. And we try to agree that when I say a bachelor is sitting under the tree, I'm stating, my statement is what? A factual one. Can be factually true or factually false. And then I went further to say, but if I say a bachelor is an unmarried adult male, I'm giving you the meaning of bachelor. The unknown word there is bachelor. I'm trying to help you understand bachelor. That can also be true or false. And then the last one is what? Value judgment. When I said a bachelor has a good conscience, I am making a prescription of what bachelors have. Any question? If you got that, which is what you see on your screen now, I still see hands up. I thought you wanted to answer the question then. So you may want to drop your hand quickly. Unless it is a genuine question that you have now, then I'll take them. Check. So I see Victoria Nuete's hand still up. Joel Austin's hand still up. Nyakoe's hand still up. And Melvin's hand also still up. If it is not a question, then you would kindly put your hand down. If it's a question, keep it there. I'll call you, then you talk. Because of our numbers, please bear with me. I won't allow for interruptions. Otherwise, everyone will talk. There are 369 of us now, and still counting. So if we don't regulate it, we'll have a little challenge. Okay, just keep your hand up. If it's a question, I'll take them. So let me ask Victoria first. Victoria Nuete, please, if it's a question, unmute and ask quickly. If it is not a question, let's take Joel Austin. But Victoria, if it's a question, then go ahead. I see that you've unmuted your mic.
Please, it's a mistake.
It's fine. So lower your hand for me, okay? Joel Austin, same. If it's a question, ask. If not, please lower quickly. So I will see those whose own are genuine questions and we can address them and move on. Whilst we wait for Joel to do that, let me take Melvin. Melvin, it looks like you have a question. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to run over my definitions of the factual and value. I just want this factual statement describe what is there objectively via the 5 senses. Is that okay?
It's fine. Say, you could always play back the video. Otherwise, we'll have a very lengthy video. Okay. So if it's something that was said and you want it reset, that's why the recordings will be done for you. Okay. Abigail Semado, go ahead. What's your question quickly? Melvin, please lower your hands so I can see those left. I still see 3 hands. If Abigail is not,
I don't really.
yeah, so lower your hand. Why you raise your hand? Why you raise your hand there? Put it down. If it is not a question, then put it down over there. Select the same thing. Your hand will go down. Let me take Abdul Pante. I hope I pronounced your name well. Go ahead, Abdul. Yeah. If Abdul is not ready, let's take Evans Adi. Evans, go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Madam, please, I would like to ask that it means that every statement we make every day falls under factual value and definition.
If it is a statement, it will, yes. But note that it's not every sentence that is a statement. A sentence just means you have put words together. It's a collection of words. But a statement means those collection of words that you have put together that carries a complete thought. Those words can be either true or false. See that? So a statement is a special kind of a sentence. That kind of sentence that has a truth value is what we call a statement. If I say, where are you going? I have put words together that carry a complete thought. You will call it a sentence. But it is not a statement. It's not something that can be true or false. So insofar as you have a statement, it will be either factual, value judgment, or definition. It will fall under one of them. All our words when you form statement. Okay. Very
Thank
good.
you, madam.
Most welcome, sir. Let me take Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I don't see your full name. Can you take off your ID? I advised against it. Oh. I think you are the only Emmanuel whose hand is up now. So go ahead, sir. Or is Emma? Can't see the rest of your name. So go ahead, please. My dear, go ahead, please. Go ahead, eh? It wasn't a question after all. All right. So we will go now to another important thing that I want you to know for starters in this course. It's so important to me. And then we are so good to take off. Today we'll be doing this on the screen now. You'll see that we are supposed to cover units 2 and 3.1, but that would have been done in the 3rd week. We are now in the 2nd week because our semester has been compressed a little bit more into 10 weeks. So we are teaching you strategically without, making you struggle. See, so today we will do unit 2 proper and then leave the portions that are for unit 3 for God willing next week and continue in that way we are able to cover them. Okay, but we learn them together. So you should know connotation and denotation by the end of today's lecture. You should know the 6 types of definitions. You should know open textured and well-defined terms. You should know how to diagnose problems with definitions. When I give you a definition, you should be able to tell if something didn't go right. Like if I say development is to develop the nation, you should find something wrong with that. If you can't see anything wrong with it, then you haven't gone through the critical thinking program very well. We are hoping that we can touch on verbal disputes and substantive disagreements, which is a section in unit 3. But if we don't get to it, we haven't trailed at all. We are doing very fine. Okay. All right. So those are what you should cover. And when you are studying in any course in the university, have that in mind. That is what course outlines are for. You see, so you know what the heartbeat of the delivery is. What is the main thing that the lecturer is trying to put across per week, per semester? You see, if you don't do that, then you will be distracted. Then maybe the content will be all nice to you, but you will miss the point of that day's discussion. Okay, so have that position, have that posturing. All right, I am going to show you your resource tool, and then I think you are fine. So I've showed you overview. Those of you who do not know discussion tool, see, this is the discussion tool. If your assignment is open and it is placed at the forum is inside the discussion tool, and you go and put it in any other tool, you will lose the mark. Tell your friends, okay? So you should know the tools. This is the discussion tool. If you are told that an assignment 1 has been opened or assignment 2 has been opened at discussion tool, this is it. Don't go and put it on your WhatsApp platform and say, oh, doc, I submitted my own. Why did you put, some WhatsApp group that we were on? Hey, yeah, you should go and mark your work on WhatsApp. My dear friend, this one has plagiarism checkers. They check whether you copied or not. So you can't be putting things in emails and stuff like that. No. And our numbers are too big to be pulling from emails and placing them anywhere. So be minded. Look at this assignment tool. When we say that the assessment has been put at the assignment tool, this is the tool for assignment. I'm highlighting it. This test and quizzes for timed assessment. Okay. You should know all those. I was going to take you to your resources. Here is it. Yeah. For you to see what is there, that I am very confident some of you do not know. They've never heard about it. Look at the resources I have put there for you. All these are accessible to every group because you are dealing with the coordinator of the course, UGRC 150, who is also an instructor for some groups, okay? But this is not any advantage that some groups have over others, no. This, what I'm highlighting now, UGRC 150 dossier, is IA 30% and exam 50% preparation content. If you select it, you see that there are links there that takes you to unit 6, unit 7, unit 9, and 10 content. It's a recorded lecture, uninterrupted, because these units form a big chunk of your final exam, both in the interim assessment and also the final exam. We don't want too many excuses from students. Oh, our lecture didn't get to that topic. Oh, that their link was disturbing us. It was a holiday, we couldn't meet. It was rescheduled. All these excuses won't come in. So we have put it there for you as a backup, where we will reference when we are setting questions on those units for you. They were prepared by members of the team of lecturers for you. So you will learn what your specific instructor, like I'm doing for group 10 and 11, 50 and 51. You see, you will learn it, but for your preparation, like you want to mop up and make sure you have covered everything. When you finish learning the content, then you focus also on this to help you. All right, you'll do fine. Then we want you to be guided by the textbook. So I may be telling you so much, but if it is not in the textbook, it will make you enriched, but it will not be examinable. We have to have a fair system, given that we are dealing with so many students, close to 9,000 plus students. You can't have special treatment here, special treatment there. So even if I give you so much content, or another lecture gave you some content that looks good and all, but it's not in the textbook, you will not be examined on it. Okay, that's the point I'm making. Here's a course outline copied to you as well. This is UGRC 150, lecture 2 for groups 10, 11, 50, and 51. This one, I have shared it already. Look at the date I shared it, 2nd July. But I know some of you wouldn't have even seen it. When I shared, I copied your mails. People don't look. Then the lecture 1 was sent to all of you. These are your tutorial links. Your TAs will hold sessions with you. You are not obliged to attend a specific tutorial time at all. Look at the one that fits your schedule. You are allowed to do that. It is just for you to take your questions. There's not another lecture. Okay, so you can't send emails complaining the tutorial time clashes with it. Can't clash. There can be clashes. All the times have been advertised there for you. Attend any of them. Okay, even the teaching one, the one for lectures, this one, the links there. You are not necessarily obliged to attend group 11 because you signed for group 11. The signing is just so that, like I said earlier, we can manage. So if you have to communicate, you can get a specific group at a time. And it helps also when you are consistently following lectures there, because if I deliver to a certain topic, I could pause and continue next week. So if you follow your discussion here, then it helps you for continuity. And that's what we advise. But we won't necessarily say that you sign for group 11. So you must attend group 11 lectures only. There is no advantage to that. Neither is there any disadvantage. All right. I think that I've done well on those ones. So we can quickly now start with our content proper. Let me see if there's a hand up. Okay, no hand up. Very good. Well comported. So we can move to our lecture 2. How many of you saw the slides that were posted for lecture 2? Put up your hand if you did. I'm trying to assess you again. Just put up your hand, don't talk. If you saw it, very good. I see 3 hands. 3 hands out of 376. Hey, yeah, no. Keep raising it. Keep going. I want to see if you saw it reflected, so we will know how to manage ourselves going forward. Okay. 32 is still not good enough. Keep raising your hand if you saw it, please. Oh, that's better. Good. Very good. Very good. You should do that. You get straight A in this course. As soon as the lecturer sends something, you go and check. Don't be sitting on a WhatsApp platform or some Telegram somewhere waiting. I want to create one for a Telegram platform for all UGRC 150 students. But I want to see if students are prompt first. You won't like the spoon feeding, okay? It won't help you. This is university. After this, we are going to commit stuff into your hands. We want you to be responsible people. You know how to go get things. Not that things should come to you. You're waiting on a platform. What did they say? Waiting, they say we go do today. You say, who is going who should go and look to come and tell you? All right. Thank you so much. So 40 something, almost 50. That's good. Keep your hands down now. I want someone to read for me Unit 2. Those are my details. I'm sure you've seen it already. So let's go. Unit 2. If you want to read, then you want to make sure you have a good background, please. Okay. Let me take Selassie Saba. That is if Selassie wants to read. Selassie Saba, go ahead. Hey, ready. If it is not to read, then anyone who wants to read can do so. Just unmute. I see 10 hands up now.
Definition. Connotation.
That's two aspects.
Oh, that's what I wanted to avoid though. Now 2 people are reading. Who is reading now? Is it Zuta?
The meaning, connotation of the word.
Who is reading? I want to know who is reading, please. Can you mention your name?
Priscilla.
Okay, Priscilla. Okay, Priscilla Cobson. Okay, Priscilla, go ahead.
Every definition has 2 aspects. The meaning, connotation of the word, and the particular example that the meaning refers to denotation.
Very good. Let me explain that. So whenever we have a definition, it will have 2 aspects to it. I didn't say 2 types, and I didn't say 2 parts of a definition. Watch the words I'm using. See, I said 2 aspects. You can think of definitions in 2 ways. Okay. What the word connotes is one of its definitions. And what the word denotes is another way of defining it. So you can define a word by giving its meaning. And you could also define a word by pointing to its particular instances. Now, when a word's definition is given in terms of meaning, we say you have given its connotation, what it connotes, that's what you've given, okay? And then based on the connotation, you can point to the particular denotation that the word refers to. The reason why it's important to know this is that sometimes the word is one, but it means different things. It stands for different things. And therefore, you should not confuse one of its meanings with another of its meanings. So on the screen now, I'm trying to help you understand connotation. And you see that there is chair, which means what? The furniture we sit on. Then there is chair, which can reference what? The head of an institution. And then there is also chair, which is what? The person who steers the affairs of a meeting. The chair, the word chair, if it means the furniture we sit on, it's not the same as that same word chair when we refer to what? The person who is steering the affairs of today's meeting. You are sitting on a chair. But if I say the woman coming is our chair for today's meeting, I'm not saying that the woman coming is the one who will sit on for this meeting. So the word is still the same, but the meanings that the word has can vary. The meanings that the word can have is what we describe technically as what? The connotation. So every word connotes something. And that is why a critical mind must be conscious of which connotation of a word is being used at what time, so that they don't just think that they saw the word chair, so it means something, or they saw freedom, so it means what they think, or they saw, what's the other one, table. So because I saw table, no, it should mean that furniture we write on. No, not necessarily, because I could use the word table, for example, look at the screen now, and it will refer to something else. Look at the 3 statement that the legislature agreed to table the motion for another day. the rows and columns in the table are too complex. The second statement cannot mean that the rows and columns in the furniture we write on are too complex. It cannot mean that. You see that? So the fact that you see the same word doesn't mean that what it is standing for is the same for every person speaking. That is what we are trying to put across here. So what then is the connotation of a word? It just means what the word stands for, its meaning, the criteria that helps you understand that word, okay? The meaning is what the connotation is. Now, based on the connotation, you can point to what? The particular denotation. So if I define a chair as the object we sit on or the furniture we sit on, I've given you one of the connotations, one of the meanings of the word chair. Now, if I ask you for a denotation of chair defined as such, then you will point to what? The yellow chair you are sitting on, the green one, the one at the dining hall, the one that the denotation you can touch it. For example, for this example, so the denotation will be the particular instances, the particular examples of chair, whilst the connotation of chair will be the meaning I've given to it. And remember, we have just seen that the meanings are not only one. Words have several. I mean, look at the word sister. It can be a female biological sibling, but it could also be what? A Roman Catholic sister who hasn't married, you know, the ones we call nuns. So if I say a sister came to visit, and you immediately think that that means my biological sister came to visit, you are erring, because the word sister could mean several things. In fact, at church, we say, my brothers and sisters in the Lord, but we don't share biological or blood. Our ex-president of blessed memory will say, my brothers and sisters, and he's addressing the nation. So are we all having one mother and one father? Not necessarily. It's language. So the word sister, brother, family, some people have their dogs being more of a family to them than even the house girl. You see, therefore, words connote different meanings, and therefore their denotations also vary. The meaning or the connotation you give to a word determines its what? Denotation. I hope that is clear enough. Now, the table example is clear here also. Then I will take you to dictating a equivocation shortly. Equivocation is unit 3, but this is a good time to show you when people commit that crime, that logical error that we label as equivocation. So I'll show you in a jiffy. But let's get one more example. Look at the word bachelor. A bachelor is an unmarried adult male. That one you know. When we say he's a bachelor, you know that he's an unmarried adult male. But if I told you that you are in the university to get your bachelor's, or go get a bachelor's before you come into my company, I'm not saying go and get a married man. You see, a married man's degree. No, you are here for a or something. It's a bachelor's you are seeking, you know, but it is not an unmarried man you are seeking. So the word bachelor could mean what? An unmarried man. It could mean what? A degree that you earn in the university. It could mean what? A button. There's a bachelor's button. Those who are seamstresses or tailors, fashion design, you know, bachelor's button. There's a flower called a bachelor's flower. So if you just go and you see bachelor, so you think as for bachelor, anytime you hear bachelor, oh, bachelor be unmarried, that's a problem. You're a critical mind. They're training you to be that and better. Okay, so you don't confuse that. Therefore, what? Detecting equivocation. And sister, read for me. I want a very good reader. Okay, so all the time when we are reading, someone who reads spot on so that it will come out well. I still see 9 hands up. Are they all wanting to read? Emmanuel Opoku, you want to read? Please go ahead if you want to read. Emmanuel Opoku, your hand is up. If not, then please go ahead. You are reading for us.
Okay, Doc. If more than one connotation of a word is used in the same context without any signal of the shift, with the intention to manipulate or to persuade the speaker, is accused of committing equivocation.
Very good. So the problem, this one is a logical error. If you say you are equivocating, it's not something you should be happy about. It's an error in reasoning or in speech. You should be wary of it. You should be alert when people are equivocating. So what is equivocation? Now that you know that one word can have several connotations, can stand for several meanings, it means when people speak and they confuse the different meanings of one word, they shift from one of the meanings to the other. They're using the same word, which means A, then they shift from that meaning of the word A to the meaning of the word B. Without notice to you, they pretend as if the A meaning and the B meaning can be used interchangeably. That's the problem. Sometimes it is used to manipulate you or to persuade you, to make you convinced about something. We will criticize the person as being equivocal. So it is the oscillation, the moving. You are shifting from one of the meanings of that word to that word's other meaning. But the shift is not so much a problem until you make us think that the first meaning and the second meaning should be thought of what as the same. This is where the problem is. Let me give you an example. Then I'll restate it, maybe to settle better. Okay. A person wants a job from your company. He's applying to become a secretary there. Then you are the boss. You say, hey, me, this is my company there. Before I make you the front desk attendant or something, I really want to make sure you are a responsible person. I'm looking for a responsible person for this job. Then applicant says, oh, then I think I'm the one. Because where I was coming from, whenever something got missing, they said I am responsible. See? The boss is looking for a responsible person for the job. You say you are that person he's looking for because whenever something got missing from where you are coming from, they said you are responsible. Look at the meanings. The first responsible boss is looking for is someone who is apt to sit at the job, make sure things are done well, arrange things, take charge and ensure that things are in order. That's the sense of responsibility the boss is looking for. He says, I'm looking for a responsible person for this job. Then this sister or brother also responds and says, I am responsible. Why? Because where I was coming from, if something got missing, everybody said, I am responsible. This one is saying, I did it. I am accountable for it. The person is confusing two meanings of the word response, two connotations, and he or she wants us to think that they are the same. Another example, maybe, says, when someone is mad, apologies, it's an example, so I want to say it as it is. I don't want to make it all nice and kent. So if someone is mad, then the person must be institutionalized at a hospital, so that they can be taken care of. So if someone is mad, then they must be institutionalized. Now, Yaya is madly in love with Kofi. Therefore, I think she must be institutionalized. Now, you see there again, the equivocation is on the word mad. The first sense of the word mad is when someone is sick mentally. Because the person is sick, if we don't institutionalize him or her, he might cause havoc. Okay? So we ask that he or she be institutionalized, restricted, placed in a confined place. That sense of the word mad, which requires confinement, and the second one which says Yaya is madly in love, are two different meanings. Madly in love doesn't mean she's sick in her head and so she should be placed in a room. No, it's a way of speaking, talking about how extremely committed or attached she is, or how extremely she feels attached to this other person. You see, so the word is mad, but the use, the meaning, the connotation has shifted. The person is confusing the two, oscillating from one to the other, and wants to suggest to us that we should accept it. That is when we criticize that person as being equivocal. Understand that they are quite technical, but if you see it, you get the point. Okay. So see the example there. I don't see why women are always complaining that they do not enjoy the same freedom as men do. It is a free country. So what's the problem? Everybody in Ghana here is free to do what they like. This is someone expressing their extreme ignorance without knowing. They are so ignorant, speaking the way they are speaking. The person who is saying this. Let's diagnose it together. What is wrong with that? What has been said? The person is equivocating. We have cited that as an example of equivocation. What do you think is wrong with what the person said? Quickly, please, quick. The hands are menu. People won't put it there. I don't understand. So I don't know who is asking a question, who is now responding to me. Please, if you raise your hand to respond to the question, unmute and speak, because I've told people to put their hands up, they won't do it. Or they don't even know that their hand is up. So if you want to react to the question I've asked, yes, just unmute and answer. What is wrong with the passage down there? Quick. I see 17 now, so 2 people want to react. Go ahead. Just unmute your mic and talk.
Madam, please, some of us can see questions.
I have told you to speak for yourself all the time. You learn that, it will help you. Please, if you want to answer that question, kindly go ahead. Someone was reading. You see, your colleague was reading. So if you can't see, it's a different thing. The expression is, I don't see why women are always complaining that they do not enjoy the same freedom as men do. It is a free country. So what's the problem? Everybody in Ghana here is free to do what they like. I want a reaction. Quickly, please. Emmanuel, do you want to answer that? Yes, go ahead.
I think the person is confusing the meaning of the word freedom and free here, because what he's trying to say doesn't fit in this context. Like the free he brought here doesn't fit. I don't know if what I'm saying is real.
Very good. I get you. The free being described between men and women is not the same as the free that we say Ghana has. And so the person is using different connotations of the word freedom. When we say men, and that's a very good answer. It could have been a short answer question in an exam worth 5 marks. And we say construct or evaluate the reasoning below and tell what is logically wrong with it and why, for 5 marks. If you don't know, you don't know. You can take all the books there. If you don't know, you don't know. If you know too, you know. Okay. So I don't know why women are always complaining that they do not enjoy the same freedom. Do women and men enjoy the same freedom? No, they don't. Even men don't enjoy the same freedoms women do. So if someone says this, and then he now goes next to say, it is a free country. Free country. Don't we have prisoners who don't move about the way they want to? Yet we say Ghana is a free country in a certain sense of it. When we are appealing to a certain connotation of freedom, it's a free country, but some people cannot move around in this same free country. So are they free or they are not free? So is a country free or not? It is free, but it is not free. So free in a certain sense of it, when you use the word freedom in a certain sense, it will be a free country. But in another sense of it, when you apply another meaning of freedom, it is not a free country. That's the point we are making with this. 2 people will go into, 2 adults, married, will go into the room, get busy, get pregnant. Then one will bear it for 9 months. Why? Why? I asked your friends, so let me ask you to apologize. But brothers, do women choose to go to that place at that time of the month? It's not a choice. They don't choose it. If you are not choosing, you are not free. I'm telling you that ladies, if they had to choose, if God asked them before they came, that choose whether you menstruate or not, they'll say, oh, no menstruation. Menstruation, them. But you don't choose it if you're a woman. Generally speaking, you see that there are restrictions of a kind that men do. Women go through mood swings. I just give you the example. You yourself, you brother and sister, you choose the parents you should be born to. You claim freedom, free right, liberty, autonomy. You're jumping here. Do you choose where you were born? Who gave birth to you? I'm not talking about your parent choosing. I'm talking about you. Do you choose whether you will be born male or female? You found yourself born male or found yourself born female. We start off with restriction. So this thing about freedom, even that is questioned, let alone you claiming that everybody in Ghana here, look at the conclusion, everybody in Ghana here is free to do what they like. In a certain sense of it is true, we are not restricted. But in another sense of it, it is not true. If you are in Ghana and everybody is free to do what they why didn't you get up when they said start work at the exam hall and walk around and feel free to do what you like, looking on people's papers? There are restrictions, friends. So we are telling the person speaking that when you move from the freedoms between men and women and you build on it and say it is a free country, and you come and talk about everybody in Ghana here is free, you are just confusing several connotations of the word free. And a critical mind must point out to you. Let me say, you are mixing everything together, my brother. Slow down. And at the law court, the discussion on homosexuality sometimes falls into this. Sometimes the word law, is just applied equivocally left, right, center. I mean, the law doesn't permit that. Which law is this that you're talking about? Is it the moral one? We'll do that in Unit 5. Is it the moral law or the civil law or the criminal code or mathematical law or logical one or divine code? They are applied differently. I mean, science says whenever, or let's use a cons, whenever prices of goods and services increase, quantity demanded decreases. It's an economic law. When you increase prices, why are we going to IMF? When prices go high, people will buy less. That's supposed to be a law. But does it apply everywhere? Look at that law. Does it have the same nature as the law of gravity or the law of, give me all the other laws you think of? This one, I can buy more even when prices go up because the thing is necessary. That's why the economists will qualify. We'll do that in Unit 5. I don't want to go ahead of us. So that word too is often subjected to too much equivocation. You need to know that. And because you do assignment 1 and assignment 2, take note of my emphasis as I present them today. Essays you will write. And each one will be 10 marks. By the 5th week, you'll be done for both of them. And they'll be on Unit 1, 2, 3, and possibly Unit 5. Those topics. You see how much time I've spent here? I don't waste my energy. It is because there's something there. So let's see some few examples quickly. I read them myself. I think we'll save time. I don't see how you can say you are an ethical person. It is so hard to get you to do anything. Your work ethic is so bad. The equivocation is on the word ethical and ethic, how the person is using those two words. Look at example 3. Sure, philosophy helps you argue better. But do we really need to encourage people to argue? There is enough hostility in this world already. I want your comment. What do you think? What is wrong with, let's see what is wrong with the third one, example 3. I see now the hands are 14. Princess, do you want to respond to that? Princess Ethel. Okay, Melvin's hand is up. Erefua Asari, all of your hands are, I see Joki Bed there. If it's Joshi Bed too. Your hands are out there. Comfort or being Owusu. Who is speaking now, please?
Melvin.
Melvin, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so philosophy helps you argue better. The first argue is about how will I put this? Trying to argue your case, but basically trying to get your point across.
Present argument. Yeah.
Trying to get your point across to the other person or to whoever you're talking to. And the second argue is basically it tends more to aggression, like violence, as in
Very
fighting
good.
or something.
Excellent. I'll add nothing. Well done. Okay. So the person is confusing these two connotations of the word argue. That's the problem we have. So if you're not careful, the two be talking past each other. The fundamental issue hasn't been addressed. One person is saying, you like arguing. Another person, but then if I like arguing, that is good. Because then I'm able to make presentations. I present an argument that, I present a case and support it with evidence. I just don't say things. So if you tell me I like to argue, then it's a good. It's a good thing, philosophically speaking, or if you are discussing as a critical mind. It means whatever you present, that's topic 3. We'll do arguments in topic 3. You present a case and you support it with evidence. That's what it means to argue. In fact, it would be a positive attribute when you say that this panelist likes to argue when he comes on the show. He doesn't just say things and go because he has heard people saying something. He's also parroting it. No, when he presents a case, he supports it with evidence. That's the one sense of the word argue, like your friend said. Another time when you use the word argument, it connotes what? Dispute, tension, contention. So these two people, or the person, let's say the person speaking, has shifted the meaning of argue to present your case and support with evidence, to argue as what? To dispute. And he or she is concluding there's enough hostility in this world, so we shouldn't encourage people to argue. And philosophy teaches people to argue. See the connotation, the equivocation there, that's the crime. I may ask you to construct an argument that commits the fallacy labeled as what? Equivocation. And you will do that beautifully. Thank you very much. Now we'll move quickly to types of definition. This I'll do it in fingertips. Now I said types. Earlier on, we dealt with connotation and denotation, which are aspects. The parts of a definition are what? Definiendum and definiens. Keep your hand, tell your friends to put their hands down. Okay, everybody who is not saying anything, please put your hands down. Now 12 hands are up. When you call them, they won't respond. Emmanuel, Christine, Boafo Tabita, Gideon, Gideon Bequin, Abdul Majid, Cobson, Presta, put your hand down. Chris, Irifwa, very good, very good. Irifwa Asari, Kwame. Can you put all those hands down? Thank you so much. Put them down. Put all down. So if there is a hand that is genuinely asking for a question, I'll see that hand. Boafo Tabita, it's just a question. Is it a question? If it's not a question, put your hand down.
It's a question.
Look, Chris, if you interrupt me again, I'll take you out of the class, please. I said I will call you. Now we are 377. If we allow that, it will be chaotic. Some might have attended earlier lectures and they have questions from there that they are bringing here. This will be the starting point for others. The class has to be regulated. So keep your hand up. I will call you. If I haven't called you, don't talk. Your name is Chris. If I say Chris, there can be 17 Chris's here. I already advised. Put your full name that you haven't done. I see Abigail. I see Joseph. These are not names that you can easily call and expect that only one person will speak. Okay? So do that quickly, please. Correct them. I see Emmanuel, but if I say Emmanuel, 1001 Emmanuels will come up. Even my home here, I'll have Emmanuel here. Okay? So put your full name. Change it to your full name so that I can address you by that. Then you know that you are the one I've called, not some other info. All right. So once you do that, I continue with my content today. I was saying that there are parts also of what? A definition, which if you have the textbook and are reading ahead and preparing yourself, you looked at the slides, you will know. Definiendum and definiens, the parts. A bachelor is an unmarried adult male. What is the definiendum? A bachelor. What is the definiens? An unmarried adult male. Okay. Then we saw the aspects, connotation and denotation. And we are moving down to what? The types of definitions. Lexical, ostensive, operational, stipulative, theoretical, and real definition. They are on your screen. They are in your textbook. And you will be examined on that. They are on the slides I've sent to you. What is a lexical definition? To define just means you are giving the meaning of that word. Remember the types of declaratives, the second and the third that we learned, apart from factual. We are looking at definitions. So when I want to give you meanings, but I tell you to look it up in the dictionary, the lexicon, I have given you a lexical definition. That's all, finished. You don't understand a word? I say look it up. So the definition you see in a lexicon, it's a lexical one. Ostensive definition, the definition you give by pointing to the unknown word. You point to the thing to give meaning to it for people to understand it. Okay. You don't know fufu. Oh, fufu is that one. So maybe there's a picture having different dishes on the menu that has been given to you. The gentleman doesn't know fufu is an expatriate, has come to Ghana. He wants to eat fufu so that when he goes, he can talk about the experience. Says, which one is the fufu? Then you say, oh, you don't know fufu. This one. Then you point at it. What I've just done, pointing to, is what? Ostensive definition. You can't forget. You should be able to create one yourself. Sometimes you don't point to, but you demonstrate. You do it to show it. Okay, so I could demonstrate without giving instructions. So I'm doing it for you to see. So if you say, what is Kpan logo? And I dance it for you to see, I'm showing you the meaning of Kpan logo by doing it. Okay, not giving instructions to it, because I'm going to the next one, which is what? Operational definition, still on your screen. Operational definition is that kind of meaning you give. How? By giving the step-by-step processes you go through to get to the unknown word. So you don't know banku. Oh, banku is the dumpling you produce or you prepare. When you buy condo, cassava dough, you mix at a certain consistency, you put on fire, you stir it, add some salt. If it becomes too hard, you add some water, you stir, cover it, and mold it into balls when it is prepared. That food you produce is what we call banku. I gave you the operation, step by step, the instruction that will take you from the unknown to what? That thing that you were trying to define. Stipulative definition is the definition that we agree on. Okay, so it's not the actual meaning used in everyday life. You use another meaning of it, so it is shared. And I like to teach it simply like this. You know, I tell the class rep when I come to class and I ask for water, please bring me a bottle of gin. Bring me a bottle of gin. Okay. So when we are teaching and ask for water, the students know that the doctor asked for water, but the class rep and myself have agreed that when I say water, I mean something. So you think he's going to get water, but he knows that I asked for something else, okay? Because between myself and him, we have stipulated meanings. That's a stipulative definition, by fiat, by agreement. So SHS folks will talk home choke, you know. Vandals will say, you're going to charge. When they say you're going to charge, don't go get your charger, because that's not what they mean. They're not asking you to bring iPhone charger or Android charger. They are asking you to go and get ready. You are going to demonstrate. See, so if you're not a member or you are not accustomed to the language, then you won't understand. And you can be sitting somewhere when people talk past you, across you like this. You'll be speaking as if they are talking about the food on the table and they are talking about you. Because the meanings they have associated with the words are not how those words are used generally. So coined words, or if you like, jargons. Then we have the theoretical one, which is based on what? An institution, academic normally, okay? That one, the terminologies there are institutionalized. If I say water is a colorless, odorless substance, you would say I've given a lexical definition. Water. It's a colorless, odorless substance. Okay. But what if I say water is H2O? The 2 is subscript down there. Okay. H2O, water. That is a whole theoretical definition. You see that in your textbook. Why? Because you have to understand chemistry to see that. It is a whole chemistry at play there. If you write the 2 in the middle, you didn't write it well. I mean, you have to write it in the middle, but down there as a subscript down, because you are making a statement that it is what? 2 molecules of hydrogen, a molecule of oxygen. The O is not 0, it's oxygen symbolized. And you have already assumed that it is at room temperature, because if you put it in the fridge, it will no longer be that. It's at room temperature, that's when it's liquid. It's a whole chemistry lesson. That is why you can't use that kind of definition when you are asking the attendant at home or the house help to bring you water whilst your food is burning. You are preparing banku or something, you need water. Then you are saying, yeah, get me H2O. H2O, bring me H2O in 10. Why? What is this? It's misplaced. That kind of definition doesn't work where you are using it. It will not make meaning And definitions are meant to equip you to be a meaningful speaker to your audience, okay? So theoretical definitions will work when you meet experts, those who are in the field, and institutionalized language. Objection, my lord. What that lawyer's thing, I keep forgetting until when I'm not teaching, I remember. The gentleman, amicus, amicus curiae. You are sitting there, you and I are amicus curiae. How will we understand? It's not because it's Latin. What it represents when the lawyer objects and raises an amicus curiae, it is a technical language. But when the person uses it as an expert to his fellow experts, it shows that the person knows his stuff. So we are going to IMF. We will not take people who don't know. Don't take me there, because I don't know accounts. When they talk anything, I will say, please, cocoa and bread in the morning. They'll say, oh, the person they brought, they are not deep. So there is a place for theoretical definition. That's my point. But you have to be minded. When you meet an audience, you have to have a target. So you want to show people how to apply the COVID-19 protocols, or how to, use them well. Perhaps you want to be ostensive. You want to apply some operational. You see, you want to tell people, stop smoking. Your heart or your lungs will go this bad or something. Pictures can help. They enter your office as a doctor, then you point to this. You see, this is a secondary level. It will get into the highest level, and then it will be cancerous. People like, so the person can have a picture of it, because you want it to be easier. You are not going to do your left promocles will become your right this, and the person sitting there looking at you, and all of what you are saying is not meaningful to them. You see that? So it's a strategic way of impacting our society after we've learned whatever we are learning at our various disciplines. Some definitions are lexical. They will be okay, the general use of the word. Some have to be ostensive. You demonstrate it or you point to it. Then sometimes have to be operational about it. You may not be able to go to the place, but you can direct. Please, can you show me your BAM library? I'm coming there, but we are lost. I'm in my office. You are at maybe Medina. How will I point to it? You can't come. So then I may give you what? An operational definition. Drive all the way to this. Turn left when you get to this place. Look up when you go there. Turn around at this. Negotiate that curve. Look up. That is a BAMLA. What I've just done is to make meaning operationally. I'll ask you. Then real definitions on your screen still. All the others we have given, we describe them as not real. Real definitions are that type of definitions that do what definitions should actually do. All the others have weaknesses. When you read your textbook, you see. Sometimes they are too narrow. Sometimes they are too broad. Sometimes they are this extensive definition, for example, you point to. So if your boy, your little child asks you, Mommy, please, what is color yellow? And I don't know how to tell. Pick one chair that is yellow and say, that is color yellow. But the weakness with that is the child will go thinking that the only color yellow in the world is their chair at home. You see that? Meanwhile, there will be other color yellow. But it's okay for starters. We learn at different levels of difficulty. So it can work for some, but as you apply it at a higher level, you will need others, okay? So they have weaknesses. But real definitions do what a definition must do. That's why we say they are real. They have other names: ideal, eliminative, essential. Okay. What is that? A real definition will have its definiendum replacing the definiens wherever you use that word. The meaning won't change. It tells you its definiens in a way that it can replace the definiendum everywhere. So for example, if I say a bachelor is an unmarried adult male, that's my example. It's not everywhere you use the word bachelor that it will mean an unmarried adult male. You see that? We have seen that already. So I can't say that wherever I see bachelor, I can substitute an unmarried adult male into it and the meaning will be the same. No, I can't. Because sometimes bachelor means something else, and so on and so forth. But if I said even number, and I define it, this is also from your book. I'm using examples in your textbook, so you can easily relate them when you are revising. If I say an even number is a number that divides two equally without a remainder, see, wherever I see even number, the definiendum, it can replace the definiens divisible by 2 equally without a remainder. Can replace it wherever I use it in maths. What about family? If I said family right now, you would think of biological relation. Someone would think of a friend in need. My family is the one who will stand by me. So the person might just be a friend, but will stand by me. Okay, so I said it earlier. Some would think my dog is more family to me than. That's why the dog will lay by the person in the bed, they watch TV, everything. Then the house girl is in the boys' quarters somewhere without even a kilt for herself. Because the understanding, I'm on the screen now, check, I've changed slide. The understanding of certain words is not like others, okay? Where you have a real definition, see, where the definition is a real one, the definition can replace the definition in all contexts of use, and it makes for what? A well-defined concept. I've introduced something else. It helps you to think of such a term as what? Well-defined. Look on your screen now. So when we have a well-defined concept, what does it mean? I want a good reader now. Quickly, read for me. Emmanuel, your hand is still up. Is it to read, or we let Priscilla keep reading?
Please, should I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well-defined concept. A term is well-defined if its definition makes completely clear which objects or individuals or properties are correctly called by that word. Its meaning is not contestable in the
Contestable. Yeah, contestable. Yeah.
Contestable in the discipline in question. Common in deductive studies like math and logic.
Yeah, very good.
Refer to the definition of even number in the prescribed
text.
Text.
Text, yes. Well done. So the point I was trying to make is that if the definition is a real one, it will make for a well-defined concept. We'll think of it as a concept that is well-defined. Look at even number. If I define even number in maths, you can list every even number. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4, add infinity. You can go on to 2000. Let's start 2002, 2004, 2000. You can keep it. It's clearly defined. You know what the definitions reference. So there is no ambiguity about what it's a number, first and foremost. And then it has so and so and so and so requirements around it. It must divide 2 equally and leave no remainder. Then you keep counting. So a well-defined concept. Now I've started another. This is emanating from what? Real definitions. If the definition is a real one, it will lead you to what? A well-definedness. Let's say it that way for simplicity. And we find such concepts commonly, like the lady read, in maths and logic. That should not give anybody any pride if you're a math student or a logician like me. It is only because the principles are what? We are dealing with form. So mathematical forms and logical forms are strict. They don't allow for, different interpretations. You can't have your own meaning to plus. When I say 2 plus 3, you don't say, okay, me, I think 2 plus 3 is 17. Plus has a meaning, equal to has a meaning, and greater than the square root. They are closed concepts. You can't have your own view, but really they are empty of content too. So it's not something to be proud of. It's just a tool to help us guard our thoughts. So mathematical laws and logical laws are deductive rules. We'll learn that in Unit 6. They are just rules, but the rules may not necessarily apply to actual content. Okay, so I'm saying that so that people don't say it's maths there or logic there, we are with the B or something. It's just a tool. What is important to note here is that their concepts do not allow for what? Alteration. They are closed concepts. The opposite is what we saw earlier. Disciplines, like all other disciplines outside of that, these main disciplines I mentioned, their concepts are what? Essentially contestable. They're open class concepts. You can contest what the word stands for. So if I say fidelity, I can define fidelity in a way that says a fidel person is the one that doesn't have a girlfriend. All he or she has is his or her husband or wife as someone. Another person will say, well, having 3 wives or 4 wives is not a sign of infidelity at all. So we are talking about the same concept within the same, discipline, but we have different conceptions of it. And no one is right and no one is. Look at the word justice. For someone, justice is the rule of might, the one who is strong should. Look at what is happening between Ukraine and our friends there, Ukraine and Russia. What is just? Maybe Trasimakos's view, might, justice as might, the strong should prevail. Survival of the fittest, maybe. For another, no, justice is treating everyone fairly, not equally. Because equal treatment may be unjust. If someone has sickle cell, and it's part of your children, you have 4 of them, 2 have this. How you feed them will show discrimination. You see, if a pregnant woman entered the banking hall, there might be a very long queue, but she might, if it's a good bank that perhaps is working well there, the woman will leave the end of the queue with her tall 9.5 months pregnancy, and come and she will be attended to and she will leave and you'll be there. You want just 100 Ghana, you stay there in the queue. That is not equal treatment, but that may be a fair system. Okay, I gave that example of the hospital too. Do you know how I'm giving you examples? Because the course is what critical thinking and practical reasoning. Don't forget it. We are thinking not to look important and bossy, but to reason practically and solve practical problems of existence. Look at your topic 1 slide that I sent you. There's a motive. So it's not just to know things and walk around knowing that you know and showing people that you know, but it must apply. So if you become a bank manager or you are a teller in a banking hall and you are communicating to people, or you are a doctor and you are writing a prescription and it is not meaningful to the client, what did you do? All your learning is nonsense. You write paracetamol, you can't read it. You have not done definitions. It should be meaningful to the person. Okay, and so that is what we are doing. That's why the examples are the way they are, to put your mind to practical issues of life. And I'm saying that justice, for example, the term, the concept justice is open textured. Family is open textured. So if someone tells, oh, this is my uncle, or this is my brother, you shouldn't immediately say, oh, this is her father's and mother's brother. It could be that you say, oh, sorry, my brother at church. Or my brother asking, the one that some people will say, this is my wife. He hasn't bought a ring before. No snap, but I said, this is my wife. Because maybe it's the brother's wife. You see that? And if the person is your brother's wife, then she's your wife in a certain sense of it. All I'm saying is, so these terms are open textured. They have different ways. You can contest, you can argue about what they mean essentially. We have done well defined. Let's look at problems with definitions. And we are done. Okay. When you are defining, like we said, you are giving meaning to the word. So you want to make sure that you are not repeating the word that we don't understand in your word definitions. What we don't understand is the definiendo. Then you use the definitions to help us understand. So we have said it over and over again. A bachelor is an unmarried adult male. It means I don't know bachelor. So you tell me, oh, you don't know bachelor. If you don't know bachelor, look at an unmarried adult male. That is what a bachelor is. Then I'll say, I learn. Now I don't know bachelor. Come and help me know bachelor. I say a bachelor is a bachelor. That is a definition that is sick. The sickness it has is called secularity. Look on the screen now. Begging the question, the third one here. This. It's secular. It begs the question. It's tautologos. Okay? Keep those words and use them with a lot of respect, but point out to people when they are being secular. Oh, Doc, please, what is logic? Oh, logic is when you are logical about the way you are doing things. Oh, thank you, Doc, but I'm not answered, please. It looks tautologos. You say, hey, what is that? So I think that if you put some flesh to it, because the word I don't understand is what seems to have been repeated there. You are safe. Morality is to lead a morally upright life. You said nothing. It's secular. Development to do money say be too mining pon. Ya say money be too pon. Hey, development is when we develop the nation and embark on developmental project. You said nothing. It's secular. It's sick. Okay, you haven't defined. Then sometimes your definition is not secular, but it has another sickness. The sickness is too narrow. What is woman? Then you tell me, oh, woman is a human being. They are defining, not just stating a fact. Woman is a human being. It means you say, if I don't know woman, I should look at what? Any human being. Now all the brothers will become women because they are also human beings. It's too broad. See what you've done? If you say a woman is a human being, that's a factual really. But if you wanted it to count as a definition, we will say you have broadened it. It's too broad. Okay. Then the narrow one, also there on your screen, is when you restrict it, you reduce your definition such that it excludes certain legitimate members. Okay. So for example, if you say philosophy is the study of the works of Kant, Immanuel Kant, or philosophy is the study of the works of Socrates. These are just one. So if you pick just one or two, a few of them, philosophy includes the works of several other people. You are telling me that if you don't know philosophy, look at the works of Immanuel Kant. That's philosophy. That's restrictive. You have left legitimate members out. We'll say your definition is for too narrow. That's the sickness it has. And then finally, vague definitions. When you are trying to give meaning to a word, but you do so symbolically, you are not using language literally. So you either speaking in a proverbial form, metaphorical, idiomatic expression, that you are a figure of speech. So for example, if you see the one in your book again, it says democracy is freedom for all. Freedom for all what? What is freedom at all? And for all what? All animals, all tables, all human beings, including prisoners. You see, so it is so vague. Vague means it is not clear. You have made it overly general that there is no specificity to it. It's not specified. It's not determinate. That's the problem we have. And I'm giving you a clue to help you that vagueness often happens because the person is not speaking literally. She's being proverbial. If you look at metaphor, if I say Nancy is a flower, I said that also. Nancy is a flower. It doesn't mean you can pluck me on a tree outside there. No. If they say my roommate is a pig, prego, don't go telling people that that's insulting. No. Maybe he's saying he snores badly, or he's so dirty, or he eats everything that is passing. Everything passing, we eat. Glutton. See? So when you hear he is a pig, and it is meant to be a definition, for example, the person is trying to give you meaning, then the challenge you can have is it is vague because the language is not being used literally. On that note, some few examples.